Hi guys, it's Natalie, and today we're going to be going over, in my opinion, the best fall palettes, fall color stories, autumnal vibes, the feeling. So I want to start first with Pat McGrath because I think Pat McGrath is kind of the queen of like really rich tones. So this is the Mothership 5, which is my favorite one. We've got some warm neutrals, this like aubergine kind of shade, like eggplanty deep purple color. There's like this taupe, which is one of my favorites, golds, and then like the red and these like pink and kind of like green to pink duochrome colors. I think that this just screams like fall, perfect autumn feelings. She still has these quads available on her website. These were from a holiday season a couple of years ago now. These both to me seem really great for fall because they have that just like pretty glint to them. This one is more of your traditional warm neutrals. There's like the red and like the gold shade in here, which is really like peachy undertoned, and then it's like the browns, and then this one's more of like the pink kind of alternative, but the pink in here that's dark is this plummy pink, which is a really beautiful tone. I really love that color. This palette I think is kind of a dupe the vibes for some Natasha Denona and also some Pat McGrath color stories. This is the Nabla Dreamy 2, the Mystic palette. I've been using this a lot lately. I used this today and I love the formulas in here. The mattes are super creamy and blendable, and there's these two latex matte shades which are kind of reminiscent of the Natasha Denona cream to powder formula, and then this one, Hidden Place, is this like duochrome kind of a color. These tones are just so fall vibes. These dusky blues, the rose tones that are kind of burnt a little bit, and then just these like really interesting golds that have a lot of depth to them. The thing that I really like about the Nabla formula is just how easy to use it is. You can get a really like intense Pat McGrath-esque look, but Pat McGrath almost has a slightly more artistry touch to it where it could be difficult to use for some people, but I feel like this is just very approachable. They're available at Ulta and they're like really good price. Like I even got this for like half off. There's sales all the time, so I love that. This one is so ancient and I feel like nobody talks about this anymore, but this is the Urban Decay Naked Heat. I think there's something about Urban Decay that's very approachable, especially their formulas are really easy to blend and thin, so you're not getting like a lot of pigment at once, which is really nice for someone that's not like a pro. And their metallics are nothing like really shiny or really special. They're just kind of like light metallic-y, almost a little bit satiny, some of the shades, which is really nice if you're more into subtle looks. I think that this is like a great burnt warm neutral color story. There's some more orangey tones in here if you wanted to get a little more colorful but you're not like the biggest fan of color. And once again, this palette, like a lot of the ones I've shown, has this kind of deep, almost purpley color, almost purpley brown, which is really nice for deepening up these kinds of orange tones. It just creates a little more interest in the look. I have several Natasha Denona options, and I'm going to start with this one because I heard it's being discontinued. It's the gold palette, which is just, might as well be my favorite eyeshadow palette of all time. Neutrals that go from warm to yellow, which is really interesting tonally. Texture, so much texture, especially these shades right here. You got another one of those like green kind of duochromes. These blues are so beautiful and inky and jeweled, and this one has almost a gray undertone, which is lovely for like a cloudy day. And then this shade Brass is so textured and like it has a slightly green undertone to the goldness. I love it. These are just my favorites. I really hope that Natasha Denona comes back out with this in some format. She discontinued the Leela palette recently, which was like another in this size and packaging. And then she repurposed 2 of the shades from it in the new Retro Midi palette. So I was thinking maybe she'll do something similar with the gold palette, because she was teasing that she's coming out with another kind of Retro Midi inspired palette that'll be more of the green and gray tones, which I think shades from this palette could definitely complement. In my opinion, out of all of her palettes, this was just the best color story. So I love it because of that. Some Natasha Denona things that are definitely still available are these mini palettes, which I really, really love. They're a great way to like use her formulas and not spend over $100. This one is the mini star, which is a little bit basic, which is really nice if you're not like having a ton of makeup, if you're just kind of dipping your toes into Natasha Denona. Maybe you want something a little bit more simple. The shade in here that looks blue is really more of a plum on the eye. The like blue shift doesn't come off much. Really, it is more of just the like plummy base color, like that. Which is nice and definitely fall vibes. It has this green gold in here, which is totally perfect. And then just like 2 simple mattes. These tones are just, the way they're a little bit more muted is very fall vibe. And then this one is the mini gold, which is 5 shades that are just in this palette. They're not like from the gold palette, they're inspired by it. And this is a more green take on the gold palette. It has this like swampy green, perfect fall color. This kind of like duochrome dark green. The dark shade in here, which is this pearl, it's kind of like a really, really deep olive. People have complained that why would the darkest shade be a pearl? And I think it's actually a really cool shade because you can smoke it out everywhere, do kind of like a dark smoky eye, or you can use it as a liner that has a little bit of a sheen to it, which adds a nice glow to the eyes. And I think that this is definitely like the way to go in terms of Natasha Denona fall palettes. It's small, it's got like a lot going on. You can mix and match really well with just the 5 shades, which is nice. This one, I've seen that there's like something happening with the 5 pan palettes from Natasha Denona. I'm not sure if they're also being discontinued. I've not seen anyone say that anywhere. But this one is the palette 03. And these are those like cloudy blue tones that I feel are actually kind of difficult to find. They are almost like a jean colors, especially the shade in the middle. And then specifically this shade on the end here, it's this like blue based with a gold shift. It is beautiful. I love it so much. It's beautiful. Mattes in here are okay. They're not my favorite formula from her. These are kind of strange colors. Like I've never seen these kinds of gray blues. Like this looks like a gray, but it really is like blue toned. And then this is like a deep gray blue as well. They're really interesting tones, and the lighter one specifically is a little bit hard to blend. With Natasha Denona mattes like this, the best way to go about blending them is kind of like packing the color on and blending out the edges, and you can build it up, but just like don't do like the wind swiper like washer maneuver. Like don't take a fluffy brush with them and like go like this, because that doesn't work. A small brush like this, and you just like and then like blend out like with really small motions. They are really unique tones. I love them. I love blues in warmness, so like I'll often do something like this on the upper lid and then take like one of those neutral warm mattes on the bottom. It's just like a really pretty combination. It's very flattering to the eyes, and it just kind of makes a blue feel more at home on the face. Blue is like a very stark color, and I feel like these are way more easy to wear than a lot of like bright cobalt blues, which I still love but aren't necessarily the fall mood. If you're really looking for something like fast, easy, on the go, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's sirens in the background. This e.l.f. palette is the Bite Size eyeshadow in Truffles. This has that like really interesting undertoned matte shade that goes like a little bit khaki, mucky undertoned, and then it has a really nice deep brown and then a black to deepen everything up, to do a smoky eye, to do a liner. It's just a really good, quick little palette. These are only like $3. So if it works, it works. You're just like, I want a little bit of like a neutral thing happening. This is a really nice way to do like a smoky neutral thing. This is the At Forest Sight palette, which was Robbie D. Christie's collaboration with Colourpop. This to me is the quintessential fall color story. And I don't know if they sell this anymore, but they 100% need to bring it back. There's that kind of matte that has that like khaki tone, this like mustard color, dusky rose tones. Metallics in here are great. This one's just like straight up really pretty yellow gold, which is super fall, like leaves. And then this one is a like gray, brown, green duochrome kind of a shade, also really lovely. And then you have these jewel tones, green, which is really similar to the green in the mini gold Natasha Denona palette. And I think this is Colourpop's best palette. It's their best formula ever. They just need to like make it permanent or something. Last but not least, this is the Mandalorian palette from Colourpop. I love this so much. And this is that perfect like mucky green color story. I love the like swampy tones in this like quad over here. The metallics are great as well. This one's more like a taupey green, a little bit silvery. The lightest metallic in here has like a little bit of a gold green shift, and then the gold in here does have that like really nice undertone to it that makes it a little more unique. The browns pair really well with the greens in terms of tones. They're very cohesive. It's just like a really good color story, and it works really well. I think the formulas in here are on par with the At Forest Sight palette in terms of being like great formulas from Colourpop. This is probably like the best swampy green vibe in a palette. So yeah, that's it. Those are the palettes that I think are like perfect fall color stories. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and